This channel is for immature audiences only. It is not for children, only for childish adults. We might play some video games that kids also like, but we say words like fuck and shit with alarming frequency and make crude, inappropriate, and morbid jokes all the damn time. Level 0 NPCs assumes no responsibility if your idiot spawn watches this and gets traumatized.
What are we doing? Where are we?
Did we do a vocal sync? I forget.
Yeah,
we were solving a mystery. That's where we were.
Yeah, we were solving
a mystery.
Yeah.
Might rewrite history.
We're three sad souls, oh me, oh my, no brain, no heart, he's much too shy. Guys, remember the 60s?
Let's give Luke no good place to start the episode.
Yeah, if we just keep talking with no break.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of noise.
You guys remember the 60s? Remember the 60s?
I remember that they were a thing that existed. I wasn't really around to witness them.
But you remember remembering. You remember seeing them, right?
The 60s?
You remember...
Though.
You remember...
I remember seeing like TV and media from the 60s.
Yeah. That's good enough.
That's good enough.
Okay, then yes.
That's close enough.
Sure.
You don't see many 60s things anymore, is what I'm telling you.
That's true.
You know?
Just an aside to the PCs here, there's a terrible heat wave in Halifax, and that's what's wrong with Matt and I tonight.
I like how shiny that dinosaur is.
Oh yeah, he's got a good sheen on him.
Dino shines.
It's a lubed up.
Leather.
That's a lubed up dino for sure.
Yeah, he's slimy. I like him.
I don't know that you would want slimy dough.
Oh
wow,
hey,
it's a party.
Do we know this guy?
Wow,
Did we see this guy before?
Not this corpse.
Oh no!
Doing an interpretive dance on the tusks of the woolly mammoth. He doesn't even really look very much murdered.
Maybe he's just stretching his back.
Yeah, he could just be sleeping wrong.
Yeah, he's sleeping wrong.
Hey guys.
I got a bad back, so this just helps me stand normally during the rest of the day. Ernie's head lolls back limply. This arm is flung out to the side as if to say, I'm completely limp.
Oh, wow.
Ernie's arm is draped over a tusk in a casual pose. If he weren't dead, he'd look like an ad for menswear.
I was actually thinking something along those lines.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Did they have ads for menswear back then?
They must have.
But not like this.
As long as there's been like clothiers and haberdashers and whatnot, I think there's been advertisements for menswear.
Yeah, but
I think back in the 20s, they'd have been sort of like dapper gentlemen standing around.
Yeah, those fuckers, they would have been standing there.
Avant-garde positions like this.
Okay, question.
This feels like more of a 70s kind of era and later kind of deal. Go ahead.
These tusks are too close together, yes?
They feel like they might be, yeah.
But
I'm not an authority on woolly mammoth tusks. So.
The trunk has to get between them. So
that's
like
what I'm saying.
Either there's a hell of a foreshortening thing happening, or there's not enough space there.
I'm not trying to be a dick about it.
No,
okay,
the game is now
for the
ruined
record.
for me.
Yeah. Okay. Look, I was worried that was going to happen, and I'm sorry.
I mean, a lot of the rest of the dinosaurs have also been unusually rendered. So,
like that slimy one.
This is it, though. This is it for me.
Like, I don't think it, like, if you had a mammoth skull and you, like, rotated it in 3D, you might be able to make it, like, match this picture. But, like, even that being the case, sort of the illustrator's responsibility is to make it look like there's enough space between those tusks.
No, the illustrator's responsibility, only responsibility, was somebody said, and Ernie is lying between the tusks. And the illustrator, lying over the tusks. And the illustrator had to be like, okay.
Yeah, we need it by end of day.
Fuck. Okay. I'll draw one tusk. then I'll copy it. It's fine. I'm not saying they did that, by the way. I'm just...
Yeah, they look sufficiently different. And
they do. They do.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry to ruin everything again.
No, it's all right.
Good night, everybody.
That's not all right.
Thanks for joining us.
It's not cool at all what you just did.
No.
It's fine. I don't care. I'm not really sorry at all.
No, I can tell.
Anyway, let's find out more about poor old Ernie here.
The fabric of the shirt appears to be clinging somewhat to Ernie's chest.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Oh. Fabric of the... Ernie's suspenders are intact, which saves you from much embarrassment. I don't think in this position that his pants would fall down, even if they weren't intact, but... Ernie's pants appear to be clinging somewhat to his legs.
Oh, he's wet.
Ernie's shoes are intact, yet strangely dark and damp looking. Oh, yeah, apparently.
Oh,
Just an average day at the museum. Find a wet corpse on a mammoth skull.
Wet corpse on a mammoth skull.
Wet corpse on a mammoth skull. Sorry.
You examine Ernie's head carefully, searching for contusions, bruises, or other evidence of foul play. You see little, but you do notice a faint odor, not immediately identifiable.
Ooh.
Was he in one of the vats?
He could have been. Despite your closest examination, you find nothing unusual about Ernie's outstretched right arm. Unfortunately, yeah.
Hey, Luke, is it time to touch him yet?
Not yet. We're gonna click all the things with this first.
You just let me know when it's time to touch him.
Okay. A minute inspection of Ernie's left arm reveals nothing suspicious. Oh, we will be touching it.
Oh.
These hairs are bristled and clearly animal in origin, with a faint smell of alcohol.
Oh yeah, he was in the
Place
vats.
in your purse.
I was going to say he's an alcoholic werewolf, but I think that's probably more makes more sense.
I like your theory
better. Yeah,
Yep.
I like your theory better. I'm going to abandon mine. I renounce my theory and embrace Julia's.
Yep.
Alcoholic werewolf it is. The suspenders are damp but intact and reek of alcohol or something similarly chemical, dry cleaning fluid perhaps. The pants are intact but smell emanating from them is noticeable. It's as if he took a swim in bathtub gin.
Oh.
He's a really alcoholic werewolf.
Yeah.
Drinks by osmosis.
Ernie, the alcoholic werewolf.
Well, he can only be killed by silver. So he just, every time it's a full moon, he just drinks enough to kill a person because he won't die from it. And he just fucked it up. He fucked it up this time. He's off his lunar cycle and he went too hard.
Yep. He had enough alcohol for the werewolf, yeah, but not for the human.
He went on a bender during a waning moon, and now he's fucked.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Are werewolves unable to be killed except by silver even in their human forms, or is it only when they're actually like full on lycanthrope?
No, you have depends who you ask.
Yeah, you have to. I think you have to use silver even in their human form.
Oh.
I mean,
and I'm just
I know
basing
that
off.
Lore is like variable. Like you don't ask the same people who write Twilight, No. Werewolf and vampire fiction that like Bram Stoker.
There's not even any silver in Twilight. No. I'm going off Monster Squad. Okay.
Squad.
These are Monster Squad rules.
Right. That's Matt's headcanon is Monster Squad rules.
Monster Squad rules.
I'm in.
Well, because really, if you think about it, the Monster Squad rules were sort of semi-okayed by the Universal monster people, right?
That's true.
Which means at some point that they were sort of the canon rules for the Universal monsters.
They were the ones to definitively canonize that Wolfman got nards, right?
Yes. Of course he does.
Yeah.
Of course he does.
I don't know why that was in question.
That's not even a fucking question. He's Wolfman.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Can I... So how?
Have you never seen Monster Squad?
How did they establish that?
They kicked him and
I think someone
it
kicked
hurt.
him in the nards.
Yeah.
Well, that just hurt anyway.
Julia, have you
I
ever
need to see
seen
them.
Monster Squad?
No.
Worth checking out.
I haven't seen Monster Squad either. Matt threatens to put it on almost every time I go to his place, but he never has.
Here's the thing. Monster Squad is exclusively made for 12-year-old boys in the 80s. And for no one else. It's not really great for anyone older than that and outside of the 80s. So, but it's a great watch. I have a lot of nostalgia for it. It does not hold up in many ways, and in some ways it still rocks. So I don't know.
I wasn't even a 12-year-old boy in the 90s, let alone the 80s.
Yeah. I wasn't actually 12 until the 90s, but still.
It's like the Goonies for movie monsters, but not as timeless as the Goonies.
Yeah, it's actually a little cynical and a little dark, a little mean-spirited.
Yeah.
But like, it's fun. It's fun. It's also got some problematic stuff in it, but that's
as with most media from the 1980s.
Oh yeah. But they have good monster rules.
They get what the monsters were.
They made a fucking movie about a bunch of 12-year-olds fighting the Universal monsters, and Dracula was badass.
It's true.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
It's more interesting if a werewolf has werewolf properties even in human form. If it's literally like once a month you turn into a wolf and you're hard to kill in that state, that's a little dull.
Oh, well, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, but I was just gonna say that. But I thought werewolves can only be killed by silver. So does that mean that in human form they can only be killed by silver?
Yes. So
that's what I was positing. Yeah.
In the movie Monster Squad again, it's actually kind of cool because the Wolfman in human form really doesn't want to turn into the Wolfman. He tries to get himself arrested and locked up. He's trying to tell people to shoot him with silver the whole time.
Okay, right.
It's pretty awesome. And then he eventually just turns and the fucking Wolfman in Monster Squad is so cool. So cool.
Highlight of the film.
I don't like that arrangement. I don't like the arrangement where he's invulnerable to everything except for silver in both forms, because then it feels like there's not much of a difference in terms of like. Oh no! Please.
It's a curse.
Yeah, it's a curse that he turns into a werewolf, but there should be like, oh well, when he's a human, he's vulnerable. When he's a werewolf, he's invulnerable. So it's like there's a positive and a drawback to both forms. But
I mean, the drawback is that like your teeth and fingernails are less effective in human form.
Yeah.
Also,
That's entirely true.
Also, nobody believes you, which is a huge one for him.
Right, and you have no control in the werewolf form. Right?
None at all.
So generally speaking, I think the drawback of being a werewolf is you are a ravenous killing machine sometimes, even if you don't want to be.
Right.
And I've never been over fond of the scheduled nature of werewolves either. Where it's like, yeah, every now and then you're a werewolf.
Well, it's moon based. It's moon based. It's moon based transformation.
Yeah, it was interesting in like what do you
Sailor
call it?
Moon rules.
It was interesting in like being human, where it's a practical part of your life, and you have to go chain yourself to something once a month.
Yeah.
But in any kind of world where you've got like lots of monsters interacting, it's kind of more interesting if werewolves can just wolf out whenever. It's more useful. Fewer writing restrictions around it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like if you narratively, that's more satisfying. But man,
they retconned that in Werewolf the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
It would be a very difficult role-playing game if you could only be a werewolf. Like one of your main powers, only like one or a few days out of the month of every session.
Oh yeah.
I think in the U.S. being human, if you were really good at being a werewolf, you could do it whenever was the idea. But in the U.K. version of being a werewolf, George did that once and fucking died of it.
Right.
So it's a thing you could do once for dramatic effect, and then you die.
Anyway,
Spoiler alert for being human.
Also, Ernie's a werewolf.
Right.
The leather of Ernie's shoes are soaked through and through. The scent is an overpowering mixture of sweat, shoe polish, and alcohol.
I'm only like 20% the werewolf in being human is called George. About 20%. I'm not going to look it up.
Time to start manhandling dead Ernie.
Thank you.
Ernie's right arm is stiffening in its outstretched position. Ernie's
What's his
head
leg
is-
propped up on?
Maybe his heel is on this tusk here?
Yeah, that could be.
I'm not buying it. Doodle-doodle-doop, boop, 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 boop. It's fine.
Ernie's head is slightly resistant to your efforts. Rigor mortis has apparently begun to set in.
Yay!
Ernie's shirt feels cold and moist.
Is there a mouth icon? Can we taste it?
I think we would end up trying. I think there's only a speech balloon icon. So
Switch to the tongue icon.
Yeah.
They have that in Space Quest and Leisure Suit Larry, but yeah, not in this one. The heavily twilled fabric of the suspenders is rough and stretched taut over Ernie's unmoving chest. The fabric also feels slightly moist.
Have you ever, and I know you have, because we're human, have you ever, like, spilled something on your shirt and then sucked it out of your shirt when you were, like, a kid? Or, like, I don't know,
a long time.
yesterday?
When I was a kid, yeah, certainly.
In a hot
not
second,
yesterday.
but I certainly have.
But, like, yeah, so you, like, it tastes like the thing you have, plus, like, laundry detergent. That's what I'm looking for here. That's what I'm going for.
What I actually suspect it tasted like was fabric softener, because that's the shit that sort of coats your clothes, especially the shitty stuff or the cheap stuff that we had when I was a kid.
No, that's
kind of
fair.
films things up to make it unstaticky, and I bet that's the taste that's left in there.
It's the taste of clothes.
Yeah,
yeah,
a subtle taste of clothing,
of orange
fabric.
juice
That
and
stuff
clothing
is on the bounce sheets. Yeah.
Yeah, but none of us have done that since we were kids, right?
No.
Absolutely. No!
I might have more recently. I'm trying to remember the last time I spilled something on my shirt. I think I was in public. Not that that would necessarily have stopped me.
I'm pretty sure the last time I've spilt anything on my shirt was when I was eating curry a few weeks ago. Because, you know, inevitably you're going to get the odd drip off of your naan or whatever. And that did end up on my shirt. But I think I just, like, used my finger to get the curry off of the shirt and ate it off of the finger. And then, like, you know, threw the shirt in the laundry. So
Get in the comments,
I don't think
folks.
I sucked the curry out of the shirt. Yeah.
When was the last time you sucked your shirt?
Yeah, tell
Let
us
us know.
Tell us the last time you sucked your shirt. I didn't mean for
And
my voice
sincerely,
to
no
crack
judgment.
there.
I don't feel that it's something I wouldn't do. I just feel that it's something I haven't done, you know?
Like, comment, and subscribe about shirt sucking.
Get in the comments, you little shirt suckers.
Due to rigor mortis, Ernie's left arm is slightly stiff, hence the expression stiff, referring to a corpse.
He'd have to be there all day, wouldn't he?
I don't know how long it takes for rigor mortis to set in.
Well, actually, doesn't rigor mortis kind of come and go, too?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
A couple hours, I think, it takes to set in, and then it does, like, go away after a while, too, yeah.
No, I was on.
I watch a lot of Forensic Files.
It's funny. I was going to ask you, Julia, as someone who would probably know this.
So much. I watch so much of that, and, like, there's Dateline NBC as well. Like, that's a pretty good one. There's a ton of shows like that, and, yeah, you learn all kinds of stuff.
Does Dateline go into the mechanics of rigor mortis?
Oh, no, not so much as not that, but it just like the narrative of the crime. But yeah, like Forensic Files is good for that. There was one called there was Dr. Henry Lee had his own show too that was pretty good. He was like a crime scene. He specialized in analyzing crime scenes and things. It's very, very interesting stuff.
The original Forensic Files narrator, the old guy they had doing
Peter, whatever, Thomas.
He had a voice that was an amazing combination of captivating yet soporific. Like, you'd be interested. You'd watch the most boring shit in the world unfold and be genuinely interested. And also you'd fall right the fuck asleep.
He was a treasure. That show ran for like 400 episodes, and it was popular the world over. It's wonderful.
Genuinely interesting show.
It's on Amazon Prime if anyone wants to check it out. If you have 400 episodes worth, you know what? And they're 20-minute long, 23-minute long episodes with no commercials or anything on Amazon, and they go. They're just well structured. They don't linger. They don't, they just go. Good show.
They weigh on the soul a bit. It does give you a cynical view of the world.
I can't comment on that because I think I started like that.
Yeah, that's fair.
The pants feel dank and wet.
Ooh, dank
but
pants.
the moisture evaporates quickly from your fingers.
Oh, dank. I'm gonna look up dank because I thought, okay, can they feel something?
I don't think dank is a sensation, is a physical
yeah,
sensation.
that's what I'll look up.
I don't think that's necessarily something you would.
Oh no!
Feel.
One
Disagreeably,
doesn't feel dank as tactile.
Disagreeably damp, musty, and typically cold. Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Here we go.
Dank pants.
Dank pants.
Dank pants.
Ernie, dank pants.
Who lives on a mastodon under the sea?
Ernie,
dank pants. You press on one of Ernie's shoes and see a bit of moisture oozing from the dark, spongy leather.
Spongy.
As soon as you remove your finger, the moisture immediately seeps back into the leather.
I like what we're doing here.
I don't understand how Ernie is here. Because if you drowned him in one of those animal vats,
moved him here because somebody wanted to stage something interesting for some reason. But
yeah, I mean, do we understand why Pippin Carter was in the knight's armor for no reason?
Sort of. Because if you murdered Pippin Carter, Pippin Carter we found killed and hidden in 2 different places. And it's weird to hide a body twice, but still, he was concealed, right? But this guy appears to have been drowned in one of those pickled animal vats and then just flung up onto some mastodon horns and
carried up a spiral staircase or a slanted secret passage, and then draped over these things like wet laundry.
He's displayed here. Like we could hardly tell we could hardly see into those vats to see what was in them. But instead they fished him out of there and put him in this prominent, visible upstairs location. We're not allowed to be in the animal vat room. We got caught there and asked to leave. So instead of leaving him obscured in a room where no one's allowed.
Right, where it's murky liquid and it's hard to see them anyway. Yeah.
It's murky, no one's allowed in there, it's downstairs in the basement. Let's just put him up in the middle of the party where everybody is.
I think this game doesn't make much sense. I'm suspecting this now.
It's possible.
So, yeah.
I asked this last time, and I think you're right. I think
now that you mention it,
it's dramatically interesting.
The pterodactyl impaling the corpse from earlier, Zicky's corpse, was it?
Yeah.
So you could have almost made that seem like an accident, except they took his head and nailed it to the wall.
Yes.
That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to do.
Yeah. I feel like with these scenes, they kind of wanted something cool for the back of the box. Like, Pippin Carter's on the back of the box there with in the sarcophagus. And that looks really awesome. And then they didn't really think about how that was going to work in the game, maybe?
The only thing is the person who is the murderer. Cool. And murder's a little crazy, It's a crazy solution. Maybe in their murderer mind, they were like, it's going to look like he was abducted by aliens. And they just shat him out here on top of this here elephant.
I mean, yeah, it would be harder to identify how he was killed were it not for the fact that he also still smelled like formaldehyde and was wet when he was put up here.
I
they
guess
were trying to obfuscate the cause of his death or where he was killed. And so my one theory about why you would move the corpse of Pippin Carter from the sarcophagus to the armor, which is immediately would be that, somebody found him in the sarcophagus and we don't actually want this body to be found, so we better rehide it and see if people just don't believe the reporter. But that body was immediately found by the cops. That was the end of Act 1 and everybody saw it, right? So it's not like re-hiding the body really serves much purpose. So yeah, that one's a weird one.
And it would take forever to put him in the armor. You're not worried that someone's going to stroll through the hallway while you're doing that?
And maybe they borrowed the armor, took it into a secret place, put him in the armor, and then brought him back.
Oh, Clackety Clack just dragged his armored body out of onto that hard floor and just.
I guess what could also be the case is someone's trying to construct a narrative that is truly indecipherable, so that there's so much evidence pointing in so many directions and so little like motive that like no one can piece it all together. They're just trying to create such a carnival of just of gore and violence that any investigator is going to be like, the only explanation is demonic possession.
Now, speaking of motive and like figuring out sort of the whole flow of all of the death that we have run into here, and there's going to be a little bit more that we find before the end of the game, but does anybody have any theories at this point? And I have the cheat sheet in front of me right now, so I'm not going to participate in this, about who is the murderer and or their motives? Have we figured anything out yet, or have you, like, do you remember any of the clues that we've gotten that might point anyone towards anyone else specifically?
I mean,
the surviving people have all kind of an established motive. I guess that's how murder mysteries work. They all want power. They're all they want to be in charge, and a lot of their rivals and, rivals and lovers and stuff are dropping like flies here.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have motives. I don't know. I specifically avoided looking up stuff about this game.
No, I appreciate that. I just need the walkthrough. Otherwise, this would take even longer than the playthrough has been.
I'm gonna say Pippin Carter's the murderer, and the reason his body moved is that he's not dead.
Old.
That would be interesting.
Even though we poked him in both eyes, he's just very good at faking being a corpse. In his expeditions, he learned how to stop his own heart.
He's got a mummy's curse from the Dagger of Amon Ra, and he's undead and murdering people.
He's a ghoul.
A hole.
I've narrowed it down to 3 people.
Okay.
I think it is either Wolfgang or the police chief or the doctor who loves death. It's one of those.
Dr. Plus.
I feel that Wolfgang and the death-obsessed doctor are 2 very promising candidates, except that they're both a little silly.
Yeah.
Wolfgang especially he's one of the silliest characters in this game. It would be hard to take him seriously as a villain, compared to the first Laura Bow game.
Despite the whole being a Nazi thing.
It would be
Yes, it almost makes it too silly.
On the nose.
I can see a cutscene of him being dragged away, screaming at the end.
Yeah.
So your money's on Detective O'Reilly.
He'd be a good murderer. That'd be a fun twist.
The Pippin Carter thing is what makes me believe it might be him. Finding the body that he clearly knew where it was, and then finding it moved. There was only a couple people that knew where that body was and had a way to interact with it. But then again, this game doesn't make any sense. So
it's true.
Why
we'll
try to use any evidence, right?
Imagine being interviewed by the police and they're talking about the wet man on the mastodon and just tell them what motive could anyone possibly have to do that? You're being arrested on suspicion of these crimes. Tell me a story to make this make sense.
It can't be Yvette, right? That makes no sense at this point.
I suspect her a little bit because people underestimate her.
Yeah.
True. She would make a good kind of Black Widow-y kind of character, I suppose. But yeah, I don't see much motive for that.
Yeah, and she
seems
friends
to be kind of getting what she needs
with Ernie, wasn't she?
The one motive is that,
for that matter,
she means to either be or make the next curator of the museum, right? Like she keeps telling people that either she or someone she knows is going to be put in charge.
Yeah,
true. All right. Well, we will find out much later. But for now, let's continue out.
Yeah.
We've sort of done what we can with the corpse here. Sorry, what?
Nothing. No.
Whoa.
Okay.
Everybody's just wandering around with all these bodies lying around. They're like, "Oh,
Nobody else really seems to mind so much. Yeah.
No. I had a pretty big dad sneeze at 22 minutes in.
That was great.
Just letting you know.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
you can leave it
Did you
in.
mute yourself before it, or yeah?
No.
Okay.
Just leave it in. You know, as while Alex was talking, it's going to be a great little background noise. Ah! Sorry. You are smelling like the brewery, mein Captain. I say you've been drinking or... Sure should be Rahman. It's a little nip from his flask.
Does he smell because he was drowning the man?
Personally, I do not require the drinking of the alcohol. It would impair my mental and physical well-being.
Skills. I can't. Ernie Leach has been murdered. I don't remember how she sounded. Murdered.
Also, don't trust that guy.
Ernie is dead.
Oh. So you finally come to us to confess, is that it?
It's a crazy leap to make.
No, I'm reporting a murder.
And you were the first one to find the body again.
No, there were two other people in the room.
I guess so. Well, actually, the Countess and Olympia were kind of... Okay.
Quite a coincidence, Fräulein. I think we should be interrogating you to learn the truth. I've had enough of your lies. God don't really. I just thought it hard to go to be done. I think it's hard for whatever for the world later. Nothing lost. Hard to hide the hardy.
Next room over?
The Mastodon room. He's hanging from some Mastodon tusks.
Ugh. He's probably just sleeping on the job.
That is the best napping spot in the museum.
No, I'm sure he's dead.
I swear, if they Colonel's bequest us and he's gone when we get back in there.
I don't take a look, don't fight it, don't talk to you.
Oh, bye, I guess. I'm going.
It's hard to be that hot or shut or but it for art it hard no cutting it out. Yardly flea. Tardly yardly.
Act A.
Act A. The danger of
here comes
Amanda.
The zombie arc. Do we smell a promotion in the air? You're doing splendidly.
I smell alcohol.
Splendidly.
From the vat. And I smell cleaning fluid. And I smell grapes.
Splendidly. Hey, listen, can we take a break?
Yeah.
Getting hot under the
Thanks
collar.
for watching. We'll see you next episode.
Bye.
Oh wow, that was you guys. You guys are very accommodating. Thank you. I just need to go.
Matt, it's very hot in Halifax, so we're gonna take a break here between episodes, cool off with some air conditioning, and then we'll be back next episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna go let my cat in too.
Oh.
Yeah, we got plans. Big plans. Big plans
for that cat.
It's gonna be here. All my animal needs are met.
My waveform
Bye,
is doing.
Everybody.
Hey, bye. We'll be back. We'll be right back. We love you.